On today's video, we're taking a look at Mill Creek's release of Ultraman Decker on Blu-ray.
It's morphin' time!
Hello, this is Soundout here, and today we're taking a look at the Ultraman Decker Blu-ray release from Mill Creek Entertainment. This is their newest release, which is one of the more recent shows. They've been really keeping us on the ball. I was going to say on top of the ball, which technically also would have worked. But the point being here is that we have Decker, which we just got Trigger, and we are getting Ultraman Arc in the near future, kind of catching us up to the present day, which is really, really cool. Once again, packaging art is never an issue when it comes to the Mill Creek releases, because this looks gorgeous. Of course, we're going to get into all of the details. We got the box, we got the discs themselves, the contents within, and if you enjoy that type of video, be sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads. So talking about this, in general, Ultraman Decker is not one of the big standout series in the Ultraman franchise. It follows in the footsteps of Ultraman Trigger. In fact, it is a sequel to Trigger. And Trigger was marketed as New Generation Tiga, so a lot of ways Decker is marketed as New Generation Dyna, though it doesn't have that subtitle. And that's mostly because Trigger is a very similar series to Tiga, whereas Decker actually stands distinctively from Dyna. There's definitely some design elements that are reminiscent of Dyna, but it's not really a Dyna sequel, or it's not really a Dyna remake. There is a connection in story to Ultraman Dyna, but it's very minor and is honestly not on the same level of like Trigger, where it's like, obviously this is a Tiga remake. So it's kind of nice that it does have its own identity, and it's pretty good for that. The other cool part about the show too is that it has a smaller cast, so it has a little bit more focus on its characters, and I think that the overall team is really well rounded in this series. So what's really cool too is that, again, we got the packaging art. So we got Decker's main three forms here. You can see some of the cards because he's a card-based Ultraman guy. On the spine, you can see we're once again doing the series logo and the movie logo. We'll compare them to the others. It's a break in format that they started doing, and I guess this is just what we're doing now. It's very weird how the consistency got lost, but that's how it goes. On back, we got Decker Dynamic, which is his final form, which looks pretty good. And as you can see, yeah, all 25 episodes plus Ultraman Decker, the finale, Journey into the Beyond. It also says contains a free playing card from the Ultraman card game. And these releases have been saying that for a few of them now, not actually included the cards. So let's see what happens here. Inner cover, really nice. Once again, three main forms, looking really cool. And then, of course, you got like your description of the series and the movie on the back. So let's pop it open, and boom, look at that. We actually got a trading card, and I think it's one we've already had multiple times before. I think we've gotten one of these cards. They're based on Ultraman Rising, the animated movie. And, I think we got one that was different, and then the next one was this one, and then we've just gotten this one. If you go and ask Mill Creek for a missing card, they usually send this one. So I guess they just have a ton of these. But yeah, so there's that. So at least it does come with the card as advertised. Once again, we do have our classic booklet. You can see a nice close-up of Decker's chest there. So you can see we've got Decker's forms, which are named similar to Dyna's forms. So we got Flash, Strong, and Miracle for the main three. And then we've got Ultraman Decker Dynamic type, which isn't, Dyna doesn't have a final form like that. It's also cool you can see like some of the other trinkets he uses. I don't know why trinkets is the word of the day, but it just is. Ultraman Trigger does appear in a couple episodes, so we do have Trigger's forms there, and then Ultraman Dyna does appear for an episode, and so we got Dyna's forms as well. Plus you got all your villains and all your kaiju going on here, which is really, really cool. You do also have the Dimension card monsters, because much like Ultra 7, he does have the ability to summon monsters to help him out in battle. And then, of course, we have the cool episode guides, which have the directors and writers written down for each episode. So you can see all 25 episodes, plus the finale movie. So pretty cool. And then, of course, art. What is the disc art? So we got, we got your standard Dyna type, the Flash type there. We've got Strong and Miracle on disc 2, and then Dynamic on disc 3. So it's the series across 3 discs. And then the movie has the movie poster with Ultraman Dyna, the mysterious new Ultraman. What's cool too is on the inside we got from an episode where Decker had to fight 2 kaiju at once. They used that as kind of the splash in the background, which is really, really nice. So once again, which is never really an issue, the packaging looks really good. Good presentation on that front. But how is it on the disc side? Is there any weird things we should be looking for? Let's go find out how the Decker release is. So here we have the Disc 1 menu for Decker. This is going to contain the first batch of episodes. The series was never dubbed into English, so our only setting options are subtitles on and off. And that just kind of sucks because they did dub Zet, but they didn't dub Trigger and Decker, but they did dub Blazar, so kind of weird on the dubbing. But of course, let's take a look at the episodes. So right off the bat, we can see that on-screen text, like this little title card talking about Mars, does have translations up at the top, which is really, really nice to see. So being a modern show, video and audio presentation all look great. Subtitles are nice and bold, and they have a nice backing to them so they don't get lost in the image, which is always nice to see. And as you can see, these song lyrics are translated and appeared at the top of the screen, which I always like to see, and that goes for the opening and the ending songs. They got the lyrics, and that's always great. On Disc 2, we have the same artwork, and then the new batch of episodes, which is the second part of the series. And then Disc 3, of course, same menu art, and then the last bit of episodes. There doesn't seem to be any of the recap episodes, because I can't remember if there was any separate recap episodes from numbered episodes, but this does contain all 25 numbered episodes of the series. Well, I stand corrected because there are 3 special recap episodes and they're on the same disc as the movie. That makes sense because there'd be extra space because that movie's not that long, but we do get the 3 recap episodes. They just were put here. On the previous sets that they've done this, they put it on the last disc of the show, but this time they bundled it with the movie. It's cool. Glad to have them. And of course, the movie has the same subtitle font and styling as the rest of the series. A pretty nice, consistent, very complete release. So of course now you're probably wondering, what about Decker on the shelf of the other Ultraman Blu-rays? Well, of course, we got to match it up with Trigger since it is a sequel to Trigger. And you can see there, yeah, they line up perfectly because Trigger has this different format. But we already had Blazar, and Blazar had the old format of a single logo, so it doesn't quite match. It does make them stand out. You know, every new generation Ultraman show is in its own universe besides Trigger and Decker. They are the ones that connect together in that sense, but it is kind of funny that that is, you know, for those 2 shows, those are the only 2 that have the movie and series logo, where the rest of these had the series logo and then mentioned that they included the movie. Of course, Ginga did have 2, because it's 2 different shows, Ginga and Ginga S. Unfortunately, we do have the images of Ultraman Arc's Blu-ray, and the Arc Blu-ray is also the same format of 2 logos. So it makes me wish Blazar was at least that. It's just very odd how, like, this, you know, this early part here, all pretty consistent. Of course, Orb Origin stands out. It's a spin-off show, but pretty consistent. Of course, Ultra Galaxy 5 spin-off, so it's a little different. But then just all these are completely different. Just totally different for whatever reason. They do, you know, I will say, with Decker having the double logo thing, it does at least match up to one other, so it looks a little bit more consistent, but still, yeah, the format's all just bust at this point, and we're just going to roll with the punches. It's just nice that we have all these shows, and we're about caught up, because like I said, the next one's going to be Arc, and that was just last year's series, so that's pretty awesome overall. So overall, this is a pretty solid release. If you like Ultraman Decker and you want to fill that hole in your collection, you can't go wrong with it, and I think it's pretty awesome to get a show this recent released. In fact, the fact that Arc will kind of catch us up on the modern shows is pretty awesome. In fact, there's a lot of Ultraman Blu-rays coming up. Not just Arc, but we get Ultraman and Ultra 7 on 4K, as well as Great and Powered coming out next year. We're going to be filling more gaps in the collection, and if you want to keep up with that, be sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell if you haven't already, because I will be covering every single Ultraman release coming out in the future. It is definitely an exciting time for a lot of great releases, and we, of course, will cover it with anything to be worried about. I will obviously tell you if there's any issues with any of these releases, because that's what I do on this channel. And hit the like button if you haven't already. Helps this video out, helps the channel out. Leave any comments or questions in the comments down below. And also be sure to continue the conversation by joining our Discord server. Using the link below, you can come join our community. We talk about all kinds of good stuff. Sometimes the news breaks in there because people from across the internet find things and get it all kind of in one place, which is really, really nice. If you'd like to help support the channel directly, you can join as a channel member and get perks like early access to videos, plus other cool benefits like special shoutouts. So let's give some special shoutouts to our channel members. Special shout out to our channel member Captain Tiers, Spin-54, MasterBen95, Forever1000, Super Shaddix Boom, Mr. Smelly Potato, Kaiju1954, Rivers, Cameron Meter, Overconception Reviews, Adam Maggle, Kyle Birdwell, Crestfallen Thoughts at Midnight, BoinkBot, Vangel Giorgio, Muhammad Faiz Daniel, Dr. Grid, Onio Nichan, David Johnson, K Slim, and Starhu. Thank you all for your support of this channel. If you so wish, I'm also on social media on Blue Sky and Letterboxd at Soundout12. You can also find my wonderful graphic designer on social media and Discord at DarkClaw643. And you can find Hero Club at hero-club.com for Tokusatsu interviews, news, and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.